Hey, what's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. And I got one question for you guys. Where y'all been at? I've been waiting here for an entire month for you guys to show up and watch my videos, and you guys ain't even step in and watch nothing. No, I'm just playing, guys. I know it's been a minute. I've been going for a month, and believe me, it was a lot going on. I wish I could have created content. And in saying that, I want to apologize to you guys before I get into this video for being a mid content creator. Although I didn't have an opportunity to really create content like I would have liked to, I feel like I'm doing you guys a disservice or doing you guys wrong when I don't put content out there, because I don't take you guys for granted. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. So the least I can do is provide content. And even though I couldn't, I still feel bad when I don't, So first and foremost, I want to say, for those who unsubscribe to the channel, I have no hard feelings for you guys, okay? I completely understand if you walk in a grocery store and there's no food, what's the point of being there? If you subscribe to a channel that isn't delivering content that you like or at all, what's the point of being subscribed? And for those who still subscribe to the channel and have sent me messages checking up on me and things like that, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. By the way, with Twitter and Threads, I'm pretty much going to shut that down for me. I'll talk about that in a different video, but that's going to happen. But without further ado, now that we back, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to react to this video from WrestleMania about The Rock's return, backstage heat for Jacob Fatu, what? Roman Reigns plans, and more wrestling news. Now, without further ado, let's get into this.
What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and news you need to know, including The Rock returning at the Smackdown premiere tonight, WWE cutting back on live events, Roman Reigns scheduled for Survivor Series, does Jacob Fatu have backstage heat? Why? Is Jesse Ventura returning to the broadcast booth? Why the Bloodline was on NXT? Bret Hart opens up about recent Raw experience, Batista reveals what's kept him from wrestling, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's see the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at The Rock returning at Smackdown premiere. At top of today's news is a wild rumor that The Rock will return to the WWE at tonight's Smackdown season premiere. Tonight's show is huge, as it's not only the Blue Brand season premiere, but the show's first episode on the USA Network after 5 years on Fox. The WWE has already announced that Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes' title defense against Solo Sikoa in a steel cage match will actually open up the show. And our recent tweet from Triple H has fans speculating they could see the final boss show up, especially after TKO Holdings quoted this tweet from the game. Tomorrow night, live in Seattle, Cody Rhodes vs Solo Sikoa in a steel cage for the undisputed WWE Championship will kick off SmackDown's monumental return to USA Network. As for the rest of the show, you'll just have to wait and see. Could this mean that the final boss is coming to SmackDown? Well, fans are throwing out various theories on what The Rock has been kayfabe up to since he appeared on the Raw after WrestleMania 40. Some fans believe that The Rock is the true power behind the throne and that Solo is his puppet. While The Rock vs Cody is still rumored to be WrestleMania 41's main event, there's plenty of time for The Rock to face Roman Reigns, which could develop out of our next story. As next, SmackDown...
I hope that's a lie. I hope that's fake news. And the reason why I say that, not that I'm trying to take something away from the people in Seattle. I'm a Rams fan. I like to see Seattle Seahawks fans suffer, but just not in this situation. The only reason why I say that is because of the element of surprise. That helps so much when it comes to wrestling. And if you watch my channel, you guys already know I don't like believing rumors. I would rather not believe the rumor and be surprised about what's going to happen than to believe a rumor and be upset because it didn't happen. Okay, that's just where I am on that whole thing. So I'm hoping. I just feel like with The Rock, he's probably going to show up after Survivor Series. I don't know why. In my gut, I feel like that's going to be the case. And I feel like that since they're going to have this steel cage match tonight, it feels like Roman Reigns would be the one to kind of get involved in that match somewhere, somehow. Or also, if they want to do another surprise, maybe someone from NXT will show up since the Bloodline was in NXT, I believe. I haven't been following NXT the past couple weeks, but I think that's going to be the case. I don't know. That's just me. You guys let me know what you think in the comments.
Kicking off with a major match. As mentioned, tonight's SmackDown will open up with a steel cage match between Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa.
Battle of the Blondes.
It's a PLE level quality match, but its real value is going to be how it will be used to orchestrate Roman Reigns' return. Reigns was taken out by Jacob Fatu recently and no doubt is looking for revenge. That in itself could be a huge angle, but some fans believe this too is just a prelude to something bigger, the return of The Rock. Now, this is just wild speculation at best, but some fans are already thinking that the WWE will book Roman into a match later in the show, possibly against Solo Sikoa, that leads to The Rock returning and attacking Roman Reigns. Whether that happens remains to be seen, but you can be sure many fans will tune in to find out. These various possibilities show how the WWE's multi-layered approach to storytelling has conditioned fans to expect the unexpected, an essential element for success in pro wrestling. Fans know something big will happen tonight on SmackDown, but the WWE's added use of social media to hint at bigger things increases this anticipation further. Factor in their strong record at making sure surprises deliver and aren't hot-shotting angles, and it's easy to see why the WWE is doing so well right now. Next up is Gunther appearing.
All I'll say about this is it better deliver. You bet. It's just a lot of hype going on. It's a lot of, I know a lot of it has to do with the fans, the speculations, but the way that they added more like gas to the fire by saying you have to wait and see, it's got to deliver. It's got to deliver.
Appearing on SmackDown. Our fans may also see the World Heavyweight Champion appear on SmackDown, as PW Insider reports that Gunther is scheduled for tonight's episode, but it's unclear whether he'll appear on tonight's premiere or work a dark match. Next up, WWE cutting back live events.
Yeah, why?
Our next story will likely invite the WWE Universe to ask if the WWE is doing so well, why are they cutting back their live event schedule? Well, Cultaholic is reporting TKO and Endeavor President Mark Shapiro revealed at the Goldman Sachs Communicopia and Technology Conference this week that WWE are going to continue cutting back on marginally profitable non-televised live events. Shapiro noted TKO have already cut out 50 events in 2024 and WWE will drop from 250 total shows in 2024 to 200 in 2025. TKO Holdings' willingness to cut its staff levels to the bone to maximize profits is just one example of how the company has increased its profits since it merged. Thus, it's no surprise that the WWE is cutting live events that on paper don't appear to be worth running. The problem with this approach is that many ignore some of the intangibles that come with live events, including building fan goodwill and interest in the product, and also providing wrestlers with more chances to work in front of an audience. This move is also a part of a potentially bigger problem. TKO's focus on maximizing profits to the extent that many fans can't even afford to attend live events, let alone TV shows like Raw or PLE.
That was my main point, because that's the main reason I always loved going to live show. For one, you get to see matches that obviously isn't canon that you won't see on regular TV. There's a ton of matches that's happened at live shows that have never happened on regular WWE, WWF TV. And the only time you get to see those type of matches is at these live shows. Like at a live show, I'm not saying that it never happened before from what I remember, but I remember that solo match they had between Luke Harper, RIP, and Bray Wyatt, RIP. That was my only time I got to see them wrestle live and in person, let alone against each other. And given what happened to them, it's almost like a surreal moment to see something like that happen. And it was fun. It was great. And it was an opportunity to take my family because it was a lot cheaper than going to a regular show. So I got to bring my nephews there and everybody had a ton of fun there. Now, with these tickets on Raw and SmackDown going up, a lot of people probably can't afford that, especially for these PLEs nowadays. These PLEs are super expensive. And in some like football, even football games this season, there's like at Soldier Field, the games are like $250 a ticket. Like to see what? Caleb Williams? Like it's everything's going up higher. So live event was an easy access opportunity for people to go and enjoy wrestling when you can't afford to go to the actual shows and just have a ton of fun there. And now by decreasing on the shows, you don't give people that opportunity. And as you said, you don't give wrestlers an opportunity to wrestle in front of a crowd. Now, if you want to talk about the other end of the spectrum, you probably get less wear and tear on the wrestlers themselves, so you probably can save them from more injuries. So that, I think, is a plus on that end. And obviously, from the financial standpoint, it probably doesn't make sense to like produce and pay for transportation and things like that for these live shows if you're not really making that much money from it. But then you also think about the hours for people who work in these, venues that they have these live shows, the overtime they could be getting and things like that. So it's just, I don't know. It's just so many things to think about. But what do you guys think? Sorry for being long-winded on that, but bro, I'm cheap. And that was my heaven right there. Okay.
Please. The report also noted WWE tickets could also become even more expensive than they currently are. Shapiro noted that he believes that WWE tickets are underpriced, and he joked about yelling at WWE for not making prices higher when the tickets are selling out so fast. He also mentioned that WWE did not have dynamic pricing tools in the past. It'll be interesting to see how long the WWE can maintain a high ticket price without alienating long-term fans. This move, which some fans might consider price gouging, could also lead to smaller promotions attracting WWE fans who don't have the money for live events but still enjoy watching wrestling in person.
AEW tickets are cheap.
WWE's latest business moves? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Roman Reigns scheduled for Survivor Series. Will Roman Reigns work this year's Survivor Series? Although a Bloodline vs. Bloodline War Games match seems inevitable in some fans' minds, others believe there's no guarantee that Roman, who is still working a limited schedule, will appear. However, Wrestling News recently tweeted, Roman Reigns will be back on TV in time for Survivor Series and maybe sooner. Barring something unforeseen such as an injury, we believe that Roman will compete at Survivor Series and likely lead a team in a War Games match. Next up, does Jacob Fatu have backstage?
Okay, sorry guys, I was paying attention. It was just an emergency. I apologize. We're just closing this whole thing up with work. But as far as him being scheduled to be there, who knows, bro? Who knows? I don't know who gets this information or who takes this and put it out there. We don't know, bro. We don't know. Like, we're not even at Bad Blood yet. Why are we even thinking about Survivor Series right now?
Heat. Did the WWE replace Jacob Fatu as one half of the tag team championship with Tongaloa because Jacob had backstage heat with Triple H?
No.
Well, not according to Rikishi.
No. I'm going to say this. I'm sorry, guys. I keep stopping it. I feel like they took the title off of Jacob Fatu so that when DIY wins the title off of the Bloodline, Jacob Fatu won't take the loss. That's all. That's the only reason I can think of it. Right? That's the reason. And then also to play into the storyline with Solo Sikoa taking that title from him. Now Jacob Fatu has another reason to have a beef with the guy with the ramen noodle Super Saiyan pastor mochi hair. Like Mochi from Monster Rancher, if y'all guys don't know. But anyway, let's see what they got to say.
Told the fans on his Rikishi Fatu Off the Top podcast, we're going to crush that rumor right now. Jacob would never, ever, ever disrespect Triple H, period. Nor would he ever disrespect me, anybody older in our family, or even his own cousins, or even the workers there. That's not in the kid's bones. Now, if you cross that kid, it's a whole new different story. Next up is Jesse Ventura returning to the broadcast booth. And Ventura, who's...
Oh, you mess with Jacob Fatu, you going to finish your story. I'm talking about on Earth, okay? That's what's going to happen.
Commentary entertained WWF fans back in the 80s might end up on Saturday night's main event specials that are rumored to air on NBC. During his podcast, Greg Gagne said that he's heard that Jesse will return to the show he often appeared on. I mean, with what they're paying those guys to come in, I think Jesse's going to do they're doing some NBC Saturday night shows. About 4 of them, they're going to use Jesse for that. Although the story hasn't been confirmed, Jesse would add some special to the shows in terms of nostalgia. However, it's unclear whether Ventura has brought himself up to speed on the WWE product. Next up, why were the Bloodline on NXT? Now, if you're curious why the Bloodline showed up on NXT this week and cost the Street Profits a chance at the NXT Tag Team Championship, well, Meltzer explained the reason for the group showing up. The decision to have the 3 be involved in the match was made when the decision was made to put the Street Profits in the match. There had been talk of having the 3 do a run-in on NXT even before Miguel and Wentz pulled out, but it wasn't finalized until they needed a way to get out of the finish there. Meltzer added that the WWE also wants to maintain the element of surprise that the main roster superstars can show up at any time on NXT. Next up, Drew McIntyre.
It's Dave Meltzer, man. That's all I had to say about that.
Talks forming his own faction. A recent AMA Asked Me Anything with Drew McIntyre opened up an interesting scenario when a fan asked Drew if he'd ever consider forming a stable like Evolution. McIntyre responded, "Good question. Obafemi and Bron Breakker. These 2 guys are studs, and I see big futures for them. If given the opportunity, I would love to mentor them. Sheamus can do the Ric Flair role, as he's so old. The WWE loves its faction, so you can never rule out one for Drew, nor should you ever expect McIntyre to pass on a chance to give his friend Sheamus a hard time." Next up, Bret Hart...
That faction would be nasty, bro. And it would be so unfair, bro. Obafemi, Bron Breakker, and old Sheamus on the same with Drew McIntyre, bro, that wouldn't even be right, bro. That wouldn't even be fair. It just wouldn't.
Opens up about recent Raw experience. Bret Hart's recent appearance on Raw's season premiere still has fans smiling, as it was great to see the 2-time Hall of Famer. However, how did he feel about his segment on Raw in front of his hometown Calgary fans? The excellence of execution opened up during a video aired by WWE. "I didn't just assume or take for granted that they were going to invite me down tonight. You know, anytime I get a chance to be in front of the Calgary fans, because I think Calgary fans go back the furthest for me. They go back to when I was 18, 19 years old wrestling. So I mean, it's very special, powerful building for me to walk in. A lot of memories here, a lot of great memories, a lot of title matches, a lot of even the old Stampede wrestling days. I had a lot of memories here. Fans have had many memories watching Bret compete in Calgary, whether it was in his father's Stampede Wrestling promotion or his various WWE trips to Calgary, including the legendary In Your House Canadian Stampede pay-per-view that featured the Hart Foundation of Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Jim Neidhart, Brian Pillman, and the British Bulldog, taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Road Warriors, Ken Shamrock, and Goldust in a wild 10-man tag match. And finally, Batista reveals what's kept him from wrestling. And last but not least, Dave Batista has made it clear he's wrestled his last match, and now the former superstar is explaining the reasons why. Batista chatted with BuzzFeed Celeb recently, revealing, "I would still be involved with WWE, I hope, because I really loved it. It wasn't that I ever wanted to not be a part of that universe, because I love the WWE universe. It was just that I became so passionate about acting, and I'm still pursuing it with everything I have, but I still love that world. I have a good relationship with the company. I hope that they would always leave the door open for me because I just love pro wrestling. Fans have seen how difficult it is for wrestlers like Cena and The Rock to balance Hollywood and wrestling, especially as they get older. Do you think Batista made the right choice in leaving wrestling for Hollywood? Let us know in the comments down below.
I think so.
And I'll see you next time with
I think he did a great. He made a great decision to leave WWE for Hollywood. I mean, he's been a pretty successful ex-wrestler actor. You know, when you talk about the long list of those who happened, well, not a long list, but we're talking about like Cena and The Rock and other people. I don't think we can include the people who were on the WWE. You know, what are those? What was the company called? It was WWE something when they did those straight to home videos or whatever, those random movies and stuff. But Batista, he's been in Guardians of the Galaxy, Knock in the Cabin. What was the other movie with the zombies? Like, he's been in a lot of good movies, so I think he made a great choice for his career to be in Hollywood. But at the end of the day, you know, with a lot of the stuff, of course, it's always rumors, so we don't know for sure what's going to happen with the Roman Reigns and the Survivor Series or what the plan is for tonight. Let's just sit back and enjoy the show and just get whatever we get, and then we'll talk about it after the fact. I think sometimes when fans hype up a lot of stuff, it's fun. I love when fans do this, when they speculate. That's just what they're going to do. I love when fans nerd out. But I don't want it to get to the point where people are expecting something that's probably not going to happen. You know, let's just see what happens, okay? But anyway, what do you guys think about each of these subjects they said in this video? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for checking this video out. I appreciate you. Salute. Peace. Have a good day.